All right. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of How I Met Your Mortgage. As always, I'm your host, Adam Smith, with Just the Tips Coaching. And we've got a repeat guest for you guys today, someone that we've had on the show and have had all kinds of interesting conversations with about a wide range of different subjects. And I'm sure today will be no different. So, welcome back to the show, Kevin Boudreaux.
Hey,
What's up,
Adam,
man?
how are you, man?
Good.
Good to see you again.
Do you remember Blue Chips, the movie? Nick
Yeah,
Nolte?
Shaq
Yeah,
and Nick
Shaq
Nolte.
plays a character by the name of Neon Boudreaux. Not Boudreaux, Boudreaux. And the way that the announcer introduces him in the college basketball arena always makes me think of Boudreaux. So I'm trying to channel my inner announcer voice there when I
I'm still
introduce
waiting
you.
for my wife to do that when I come into the house after a long day.
uh,
Kevin, mother,
yeah.
come
that
running in.
that doesn't happen.
No, can you
Oh,
believe that shit?
yeah. Well, I think it's right along the lines of all the other stupid adult shit. Like if I get new sneakers, nobody asks me how fast I can run in them.
I know. I mean, I might pull a hammy, but at least I'll show you.
I'll try. Absolutely, definitely going to hurt something. But yeah. But hey, if you're listening and you happen to be in that position, you just go ahead and dial 9-1. And when it happens, you can just dial the last one and get the medics on site to help me out. So, Kevin, how you been? What's new? How's the pig? Peppermint the pig?
Peppermint had babies. We have two little girls, Thelma and Louise. They are like the cutest things ever. So, when you drop this podcast, please put my Facebook link so people can follow me and see all my shenanigans on the farm. It's pretty funny.
It is pretty funny. Yeah, I will absolutely do that. In fact, I'll go find it here while we're chatting and put it into the
There's some cute little
live
videos of
feed.
Thelma and Louise oinking around and being cute.
And how old are Thelma and Louise?
They were born July 4th. I walked outside to on America's 250th birthday, and I found some baby pigs.
Wow. Okay. Um,
Yep.
all right. Well, hey, I guess procreation is good for the bacon supply. I don't know.
These are more of pets, but yes, I mean I do love great bacon. I'm a bacon fan, and I have a half a cow sitting in my freezer in the shed right now. I definitely love going to fresh farms, local farms, and sourcing my meat there. What I have on my little petting zoo, I don't eat except the eggs. I did have cows at one time, as you know, Lily and
Yeah.
Vader, and they kept
Yep.
breaking out and I couldn't eat them. They became my friends, so I had to sell them when they kept breaking out and getting lost in the woods and stuff. I gave up. I was like, okay, cows are not for me.
Okay. That's a tough gig. We talk
A
about
lot
that
of it.
quite a bit in Colorado. Obviously, there's plenty of cattle business here, despite the fact that it is so ridiculously dry. I mean, it's very difficult to have cattle in Colorado for the people out there that do it. Hats off to you. That's a tough gig, no question. All right, and dogs. There were dogs. There's a whole litter of German Shepherd puppies.
They're actually Shepskis. So mom is a husky, dad is a long-haired shepherd, and they came out so freaking cute. So we had 9, and somehow I kept 5 out of 9.
Somehow.
Well, it started off as 2. Then my one of my oldest sons decided his girlfriend wanted one, but she didn't want to take it. She just wanted to name it and us take care of it. But somehow that happened.
Okay.
Then my wife's sister wanted one who lives in the in-law suite at her house, but the dog stays with her brothers and sisters. She goes over there a few hours a day, but she has not spent one night over there because she cries and wants to come back over to the main house. And I'm the one who takes her to the vet and everything else. So I consider her mine. She technically is borrowed every now and then, like a weekend parent, maybe. Yeah, every other weekend.
Okay.
Um,
Joint
and
custody. Got it.
yeah, and then one more. My wife said he was the runt, and he turned into be the biggest one out of the 5 we kept. But he was a runt when he was little, and his name is Bear, and he's so cute. She wanted to keep him, so we ended up with a lot more than we expected.
Yeah, I would say that that's accurate. And it's funny because you and I talked for a bit before going live, and we kind of, danced around some subjects like, side gigs and other revenue streams and those kinds of things. But as a dog breeder and pig breeder and, livestock rancher, you're failing.
Oh, completely epic fail.
Y-
They're dipping into my pockets big time in my bank
Yeah, it's
account.
actually the
Nothing.
opposite, right? This is costing you more money.
Now the farm itself is a decent tax write off, but I spend more than I can write off. So it's a losing battle, and the puppies is a 1,000% losing battle. They are very sweet and loving and
Oh, and
cute,
so
but
cute.
but they're nuts. They're nuts. They get in all kinds of trouble. They tear up banana trees for no reason. They catch moles, dig up my yard. I'm like, oh, God, like
Yeah,
they're crazy.
like husky shepherd puppies would.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. All right. Well, you knew what you were getting into.
kinda. The wife started off with chickens, and now we're here.
Oh, hmm.
Chickens are the gateway animal, just
The
like
the
marijuana is a gateway
right.
drug.
Chickens are the gateway drug to
It
Kevin's farm.
is. Next thing you know, you'll have goats and pigs and donkeys and sheep and
Oh my.
whatever else that comes, ducks, geese. Yeah, a little bit of everything.
Okay. Wow. All right. Let's talk about some work.
Let's do it.
God, do you even have time for work with all this
Some,
going on?
some days,
Okay.
I got to be very efficient. That's for sure. Between the animals and kids, and now my youngest son's in private school, about an hour away. Thank God we had a neighbor that decided to go there too, so we carpool. But his first year there, a couple of years ago, I'd had to go there and back, so it was like 4 hours a day was in my car. So I would make a lot of calls, obviously, in my
Sure.
car while I'm driving back and forth. So it kind of forced me to be a little more organized than I normally am.
Fair enough. Yeah, I abhor wasting time in the car. It just
I hate
drives
it.
me up a wall.
My wife's
And
like, "You don't enjoy it? You don't just play music?" I'm like, "I can't. I have 40 things in my head going around. I got to accomplish something, not just
right,
drive to where I'm going and
right,
waste that time."
or back. Even worse, you're driving there and back.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel you. And we're obviously still pretty hot and heavy in the mortgage space.
Yep.
We even have our tagline as your favorite mortgage guy. Yeah, I've got you like third on my list, buddy. Sorry, not the absolute favorite, but you're close.
Well, I hope you're your own favorite. That would be
Oh God, no. Yeah, no, that don't even make the list. We get it, Jesus. My team, they probably make the list. But yeah, although it's funny because we were talking about it, and one of the things that you've really got to have in order to do anything in certainly in the financial space, and certainly anything where you understand that being in the financial space, whether it's mortgages or real estate or insurance or financial planning, on and on, is that it's a sales job. And I'm not selling a mortgage, and a real estate agent's not selling a house. They're selling themselves. We're selling ourselves. This is, I'm selling you on why you should use me to handle this particular transaction or that particular life insurance policy or whatever the case may be. So if you don't have, a passion for that, if you don't, have that kind of, Zig Ziglar mentality where all you want to do is help people and you understand that you just want to help as many fucking people as you can, because if you help people get what they want, you'll get what you want, then you're never going to pull it off. And certainly not over the period of time that you and I have been doing this, which is probably, like a combined half a century or more now. So yeah, it's definitely very, very different. But you've picked up a new passion in a couple of those arenas, some insurance and financial planning type of stuff, and you're heels in. You're really getting some intrinsic reward out of it.
absolutely love it. So actually, it's I guess a new old passion of mine. So
Right.
before I went full speed into mortgages in 2003, from 99 to about 2003, I was also life insurance license, life, health, variable annuity, and securities license. So I was able to help with mutual funds, investments, setting up Roth IRAs and things like that. And absolutely loved it. But, at 24, 25, 26, I didn't actually have the right type of clientele that makes a financial planner be able to pay their bills. I
Mhm.
loved the passion, and mortgages kind of took off for me. So I've been running that course, but, financial services is something that, you can really make a big impact in people's lives. And I think there's so much bad information because I kind of view myself as an educator more than a mortgage guy or a sales guy, right? I educate people, I show you the math, I tell you what I would do if I was in your situation, and I let you choose. I don't care what mortgage you get. I don't care what program you go with. I'm just going to, based on your situation and your goals, I'm going to show you maybe what's best based on what, 23 years of doing this. And with financial planning, there's too many companies and salespeople out there that are pushing one product, and because that's what they have to sell. So they're putting a square peg in a round hole and beating it to death and trying to sand it and forcing it down everyone's throat. And this goes for buy term, invest the difference. IULs, very hot topic. Cash value, becoming your own bank. The funny thing is, I actually have all three of those types of policies. So, depending on your situation, most younger people need a lot of term insurance. It's like renting your home, but it protects you until you build wealth. Then, with the cash value life insurance, we use that to fund other investments, whether it's crypto, buying investment properties. You could break stocks. You could be investing in tech stocks, AI, whatever you want, but that's going to be your rate of return. This policy just gives you a pool of money that is always compounding, whether you have your money sitting in the policy or not. Because most investments or financial vehicles like a CD or a money market or anything like that, your money doesn't give you interest if you pull the money out. So it's a tool to build wealth, so again, that's not for everybody, right? Like a lot of my clients will never need something like that, but my investors that I work with on the mortgage side, I'm showing them how to become their own lender instead of using fix and flip products. Now it takes a few years. You're not going to become your own lender and be able to do all this immediately, but over a little bit of time you can build this, so now you can actually be a lender to other flippers. You can charge them the 12%, charge them a couple points. Like the sky is the limit for these products. But you've got to know and ask the right questions, and the consumer has to, their situation has to be appropriate. I hate that there's a lot of stuff online, and it's telling everyone else is wrong. This is the only right vehicle, and that is just horseshit. There is no perfect vehicle. It's really based on your finances.
Yeah, everybody's
And
situation is unique.
yeah, but
Right.
they don't give that kind of advice. So I'm really excited. I'm going to be starting a YouTube channel. I've really never been big on YouTube. So I'm going to be doing a lot of things outside my comfort zone, just to help people, just to give them knowledge. And if they want to talk, great. If not, they take that knowledge and run with it. That's cool with me. I just want to help more people at least see the pros and cons of whatever they're thinking about instead of just listening to, this is the Swiss Army knife of everything. You do this and you're going to be rich. It doesn't work that way.
So let's look at this through a different lens. Because while this obviously is valuable and has some real long term regenerative benefits for the salesperson, the mortgage originator, the insurance broker, the financial planner, on and on, that's not something that everybody's going to do independently.
Correct.
A good example is I don't have an insurance license, but I am a shareholder in an insurance brokerage. Okay, so I have the ability to make sure that my clients are getting a decent product. Well, pretty wide variety of different products, to be honest. Those kinds of things. But I don't want to sell insurance. I don't want to be a financial planner. I don't want to go get my Series 7, right? That kind of thing. You're doing a lot of this internally. It's Kevin and Kevin and Kevin. But if you're talking to an Adam or to a Bob or to a Jane, the piece of it here that is really going to kind of have a team financial aspect to it is making sure that people are having the right conversations with the right people, that those right people are then having the right conversations, so that when they do need a mortgage or when they do need insurance, whatever the case may be, it becomes this cyclical machine.
Yep.
So what should the average LO who wants to, or the average real estate agent, whatever the case may be, we know how to establish relationships with agents, and agents know how to establish relationships with originators. That's been, dawn of time kind of referral partner bullshit, right?
Chicken or egg? Which one
And
came
right,
first?
absolutely. And for as long as chicken and eggs have existed, that kind of thing. So what should a mortgage originator, what should a real estate agent be doing to make sure that they're putting these additional pieces into that cycle?
Well, what we're doing, what I'm putting together is an agency full of loan officers and real estate agents because we already have the contacts. We already have people that trust us. We already know a lot about their financial situation. And
Sure.
what I'm doing, what I'm talking to people about, is actually just getting licensed, getting your insurance license, life, health, and variable annuity, and introducing us to your clients. So an LO might take, if they're using page 5 of the application, you know a lot about them. You know if they have a CPA, a financial planner already, or someone they actually like, or just whatever. And you're making that introduction. And then what we do is we pair them up with someone that can actually write the business for them and then pay them. They get paid because they are licensed. It's not like mortgages where I can send you a mortgage, Adam, but you can't pay me, right? Like hey, they're going to Colorado. Adam's a great guy. I know he'll take care of my client, but in real estate, they can get compensation. Same thing with insurance, but mortgages, we can't. We just have to do it out of the betterment of our client and make sure they get taken care of.
Right.
So they don't have to
Okay.
learn it. What I'm telling everyone is just put your toe in the water, learn some stuff about financial services, learn how to introduce us and get an extra stream of revenue. And I think it's going to be really big the next 5 to 10 years for big teams. Big real estate teams are spending so much money on marketing. Their cost per lead has gone up and up and up. So a lot of them have the mortgage relationships. They either have a
Sure.
marketing agreement or a true partnership somewhere where they're getting paid. They have title. Some of them have homeowners insurance like you do, PNC, but none of them have financial services right now. So I see it as a way of how do you make another stream of income that allows you to grow your real estate side of things. This is an extra service, an extra vehicle to make really good money without having to learn it and be an expert in it. You just partner up and let the experts handle it for you.
I love the idea of the increase on the ROI on a lead, for example, because yeah, buying, and I hate buying leads. In fact, I think I did the last couple of video blogs, the weekly little tip. You guys can catch that on a number of different platforms, but I think the last two that I recorded, they should be out maybe today, maybe next week. Well, next week's a holiday. But we talk a lot about buying leads, which I abhor, how to identify the companies that are creating good data, scrubbing that data, what to do with that data, so on and so forth. But when we're talking about real estate agents or loan originators or any of you, and one of my first gigs in financial space was with a company called NetQuote, and we were just attracting consumers who wanted to get a quote on something PNC. Sorry, the auto home, for those of you that we're using shitty lingo with bad abbreviations with. And then they would sell that data to insurance agents, mostly captive. That's kind of what went on in the business. God, this was 30 years ago, maybe more. But when I think about the idea that that lead, even if it's a PNC lead or a financial planning lead, and certainly mortgages and real estate are going to fall within that, then that lead becomes somebody that potentially needs all of the above services. And if you're able to help them sell their home or buy a home or get a mortgage and insure the property and their automobiles and find some investment grade life insurance or buy some mutuals, really do some long term planning and investing, which hopefully a lot of people are doing. Please, I hope a lot of you are doing. Then all of a sudden, the ROI on that lead jumps, doubles, triples, quadruples the ROI on what can be a really expensive and really brain damaging process when it comes to leads. And I'm using that term obviously pretty loosely. I'm not talking about where you and I are generating leads because we know how to do that. I'm talking about when we're purchasing leads. Very, very different for those of you that don't know the difference. Well, ask yourself if you're really, really good at finding business or if you're really, really good at chasing business. Nothing wrong with either. Those are just two very, very different approaches, mindsets, skill sets. So if we're buying leads, chasing leads, if we're generating leads, this fits into, all of these categories, then yeah, having this wide range of different financial services that you or your colleagues can provide, yeah, you're just amping up the ROI on any particular lead. It's really kind of cool.
Yeah, it to me it's a kind of a no-brainer, and I've been thinking about it for a couple years. I finally just pulled the trigger because I realized how much money I left on the table the last 20 years. I mean, honestly, you're talking about seven figures that probably could have been, and a lot of it residual. That's the
Right.
key. It's a
Yeah.
residual stream that compounds the longer you're doing it. So to me, it's like, wow, like I can make a bigger difference and introduce it to people that need to, like I said, grow their business. But, you can only do so much in real estate, right? But if you have all the other services, so it's just to me something to have conversations about. And it's going to lead the mortgage business. Because as I talk to agents and LOs, I mean, it all kind of feeds itself too. It's not like I'm not going to be doing mortgages. I'm still 23 years of doing it. I can lend in all 50 states. So there's still those conversations happening. But this is just a different thing. Hey, look, I can bring this to you. You're already in mortgages. Let me show you how to make some extra money. And guide you. And it's totally separate, obviously, than I'm an originator, you're originator. It's, hey, look, you already have the clients. I have my clients. Let me show you how to make an extra stream of revenue and make a bigger difference in their life. Because if you can help them with those other areas, just something as simple as, with term insurance, there are things now called, oh my God, critical illness riders and things like that. Living benefits, that's the word for it. But a lot of the older term insurance don't have that. Like I'm looking at redoing probably most of my old policies because there's only about a 2% chance I'm going to die during the term policy, less than two. But there's probably a
Wow.
30 or 40% chance that I might get cancer. I might, get really severely sick, some kind of disease. Like we have more illness related issues that can affect our finances than dying. I mean, dying obviously is a big one. Yeah, you're gone. But sometimes being sick and out of work is harder on your family than
Well,
passing away.
being dead is going to impact my finances. I don't care anymore. I'm out.
So there's just a lot of things out there like that can make a major difference in someone's life when they go through a problem. So just letting people know how to protect themselves. And the more wealth you build, the more you have to be protective of it. Not play scared. You're still going to have brokerage accounts. You can have crypto. Like I have a lot of really aggressive stuff that can either make me a lot of money or lose me a lot of money. But I have a lot of fixed stuff that will never, ever go down. So I have some of that slow, like the turtle in the hair, right? I got some things that might sprint off and make me a ton of money, but like 2 years later they go down a lot, like crypto, right? Stocks, AI stocks could be doing that. It's been a big run, but what goes up this fast must come down.
Yeah,
Well,
we all
where
learned
the
that from the tech bubble way back when.
yeah,
Although I am surprised to hear you say you've got some investments that have a fairly high risk tolerance because you're old.
I'm 50. Yeah, I turned
All right,
50.
all right.
The
I
beard
guess
says
it's
I'm
nothing.
older, it's
I
really gray,
know.
but that's
Yeah, it
because
did.
of kids and the animals and mortgages right here.
Yeah, with all the money you left on the table over the years, you could have had a bunch more pigs. All right. This is really interesting stuff. I mean, obviously, we circumnavigate a lot of different financial aspects. We have coaching clients that are obviously in mortgage and real estate, but a handful that are in insurance and financial planning, even a few other um, offshoots from the standard things that you'd think about with people that have to, do lead gen and client retention and those kinds of things that JTT really works on. But I think the overall aspect of this kind of a completing the cycle, the circle of all around financial health while being able to kind of keep it internal is really a big deal. And then of course we also talk a lot about side gigs and other revenue streams, and we certainly talk about investment real estate and writing and publishing, and I love that Kindle Direct, the paycheck that shows up. I think it's quarterly. It's like, what the hell is that deposit? Oh yeah, people bought some shit that I wrote. Okay, I knew that was out there. Those kinds of things, but obviously in insurance, that's big because the renewals are a big deal. I'm not sure I can express what that looks like. Obviously, insurance agents can. But if you're in a financial services space like mortgages or real estate, where somebody buys a house, somebody sells a house, somebody gets a loan, and you get paid for the work that you do that goes along with that, then great. But in insurance, and granted, the paycheck is, significantly smaller if somebody buys a policy, but they're going to renew it every year or
They
every
stay
six
on the
months, depending
books.
on they
They
stay
stay
on
on
the
the books
books.
for
Right.
years and years
Right.
and years, As long as you
Yeah.
service the client, and if their insurance goes up too much, you obviously reach out to them, shop it around for them, get them
Yep.
the best quote based on, their age of their house at that point. I mean, it just makes sense. It's a long game.
Right.
Anything with residuals is a long game, 5, 10, 15 year time frame. But once you're done, but that's the thing, you don't have to do either or. You're still doing your main focus, which is real estate or mortgages. This is just a long game, compounding, helping your family out, and then all of a sudden you're going to look back and go, wow, that's a pretty big check that I have every quarter coming in from renewals. And you eventually don't maybe have to go chase as hard. You can work with people who you want to work with instead of working with everybody. Maybe you could go into that niche that you wanted to, that you're passionate about, but you're afraid, I need a certain amount of closings. Well, you got that extra income coming in, you can go do what your soul tells you to do, which is a lot more fun. When you wake up and you're passionate about it, it is much better than when, oh shit, I got to get up and go find someone that wants something now, or my family won't eat.
Seriously.
That's not fun, but if you're passionate about helping people and you can be, a thought leader in that area, I mean, just what that can do for your sales. I mean, it can boost them. But a lot of us, me included over the years, you try to want to be everything for everybody. That just doesn't work.
It's hard. No question. So, Kevin, per usual, you and I are going to run over our usual time. It just happens because we get into these conversations and we kind of forget that there are time limits and so on and so forth. But I am really confident that a lot of our audience is going to have some questions about this, not necessarily just some of the things we've talked about today, but kind of some structural ideas. How do people find you? What's the easiest way? I did post your Facebook link. By the way, he's Kevin.Boudreaux1 on Facebook, but I'm guessing there are better ways to get a hold of you.
Yeah, the best way is text or call 407-718-5588. I've had that number 30 years now. I will never get rid of it until I maybe retire. Then I won't want anyone to have my phone number. But, until then,
Yeah,
that
probably won't
number
even have a phone.
It'll probably be just implanted into us by
Yeah,
then.
maybe, or I'm just going to chuck it into a lake. But yeah, that'll be the end of that. But yeah, if you guys want to talk more about this stuff, Kevin's an open book. He really is, and he really does maintain this abundance mindset where he knows that there's plenty of business for everyone if you're good at what you do, and he gets a thrill out of helping other people elevate what they're doing in their business, that those people can help their clients better, that their entire industry, whether it's mortgages or real estate or insurance or financial planning, on and on, are being elevated as a whole because there's this tiny little segment where Kevin is helping somebody, and it, there's a trickle down effect that Kevin's a big believer in. So yeah, if you guys want some help with this kind of stuff, don't hesitate, he'll tell you. um, and I venture to say that he'll actually tell you true. He will tell you the good and the bad, and then the bad, and he might even warn you about breeding puppies while you're at it. So that kind of thing. But Kevin, thank you. Always a lot of fun to have you, and this is really one of the few ways that you and I just get to sit and have a conversation because
It's
we're all
awesome. I always love being on
2,000
your
miles
show.
apart, and we just don't see each other on the regular anymore. So
And
um,
by the way, I did not breed the puppies. We rehomed a husky. My shepherd was not fixed. She went in the heat 2 weeks later. I kept them separated until I didn't. And that's all it took was one time me
until I
turning my back.
did.
I screwed up. And then I had
Kevin,
9 puppies. So it wasn't on purpose.
Kevin, do you have kids?
Yeah, three boys. I
Yes,
know how.
same thing. Right. Okay.
Uh,
All right. So, as a final warning to those of you that are still capable, because Kevin and I are probably over the hill that way, the good people at Trojan are in business for a reason. Just throwing that out there. All right. So, for the rest of you watching or listening live or in syndication, thanks for tuning in. You can catch us live on Monday mornings at 9:30 Pacific, 12:30 Eastern on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, and the podcast a mere 48 hours later on Amazon, Apple, and Spotify. If you want to catch previous episodes, or you want to see the weekly video blog, the weekly little tip, or I don't know, all kinds of stuff. There's books and there's conferences and on and on and on. Just check out justthetipscoaching.com. You'll find all that stuff. And Kevin, love you, brother. Thanks for carving the time out.
you're welcome. Thank
Yeah,
you.
we'll do it again in the not too distant future. And for the rest of you, thanks for tuning in. And we'll see you next time with another episode of How I Met Your Mortgage.